Give him one more time. Let's feel it.
Well, it's always interesting because everybody wants to know how I started being David X. And I'll tell you, it's a very funny kind of situation because most of my life, I didn't believe there was anybody who didn't understand what I understand. I thought everybody was like me. So what happened was, I was a guy who started in my life, I was real lucky. At a very young age, and in today's day, the woman that took my cherry would have probably been arrested and gone to jail because I was under the age of majority. But in those days, I was just very thankful. And what happened was, as I started going out, I'm noticing what, I now have a young son, he's going to be 18 in 4 days. I notice what he comes to tell me all the time. He says, "Dad, all my friends are lying to me. All my friends say, I fucked her. I fucked her. I fucked her. She's no good. She's a lesbian." I used to go, "How do you know?" And they couldn't tell me. But when you're young, you believe all the bullshit. And then all of a sudden, I don't know when things clicked in my mind. It probably was when I went out with a friend of mine and he cock-blocked me. And I found, he's supposed to be my best friend. Why is he cock-blocking me? Why is he making it harder for me to talk to this girl, to ask her out? And my father tells me a story. I heard this when we were kids. He was best friends with my mother's brother. He had paid no attention to my mother because she was younger, and you know, when you're best friends with somebody's brother, you don't even look at the sister because you don't want to have a fight with your friend. So he's with a group of guys on a corner, you know, hanging out like guys do when they're young. And one of the guys sees my mother passing in the distance and he says to my father, "See her? I fucked her." So my father goes, "I know her. I'm best friends with her brother. And she doesn't even like boys." He says, "Nah, I fucked her, don't worry." So my father, in those days, he got very insulted for his friend. And he did something. He said to his best friend, he says, "Get your sister to meet us at this corner on the weekend." And he had that guy come over, and right in front of the guy he says, "Tell me what you told me about her last week." And the guy, when he was faced with the girl, he went embarrassed and he ran away because he was lying. And my father said to me in those days, he says, every guy wants to be a big shot, wants to embellish. And I found out that there's the easiest rule is to do what everybody isn't doing. So I decided to be honest with all the girls. And I came up with the honesty, trust, and respect because I had a European father and they believe in that. Most of our parents, most cultures, respect is very important in any culture. Some more than others, but it's all prevalent there in the way you're brought up. But we tend to lose it because of society. We want to impress our friends, but it doesn't work. It only gets you in trouble. And I found out that with the honesty, trust, and respect. And I'd ask every girl the same thing. What are the 3 most important things in any relationship? Whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, me and Gil, me and any one of you guys. Honesty, trust, and respect. Why do all my students trust me? Why do they feel comfortable with me versus somebody else? Because they feel that I'm not bullshitting them or lying to them. And they feel I'm only telling them what I believe and what I know to be true. Well, I'm not sure. I'll tell you, I'm not sure. I'm not embarrassed if I don't know something. God knows I can't know everything on this planet. It'd be time for me to die. I came up with 2 rules. Simple rules. And I found that it's a joke. When you hear the rules, they're just words. If you live those rules, you don't need my help anymore. And I'm telling you how to make me obsolete to anybody. The 2 rules are, rule number 1, who cares what they think or what they say? Now, before I go to the second rule, what does that mean? It means don't listen to what the women are saying. If you sit down with any one of you guys and I say to you, okay, let me ask you a question. You think women lie to you? You'll all go, yeah. But when you're talking to a woman, you forget that. You think, you know, my son was telling me a story which is really good because he told this to me just yesterday on the way into town. He says he was talking to this girl in his college. And he's walking down the hall talking to her. And his ex-girlfriend comes down and she says to him and her, "Are you his new girlfriend?" He was just walking with a girl talking to her. She's good looking, so he was talking to her. So his girlfriend, they walk away and the girl says, "Who was that?" He says, "It was my ex-girlfriend." "If I would have known it was your ex-girlfriend, I would have given you a kiss to piss her off." That's what the girl says. And the other girl wants her to know that that's his ex-girlfriend to piss her off. Now, what does that mean? Guys do it too, but not as bad as women. If they were friends, they would still do it. I'm writing a book on questions because I get so many guys asking me questions, and I'd love to find a question that I don't know the answer to. That's what my goal was originally. So we put on our newsletter and our website, send in your questions and I'm going to put them all in the book to see if I could get a question that I can't answer, that I don't know the answer. I'd love to. One of my graduate students sends me a question and I'm putting his question, the first one in the book, and his question goes like this. He says, what happens when you meet a girl and she says to you in the course of the conversation, absolutely never will I ever sleep with you. And then a week later he's fucking her. What does that mean? Why did she say that? And I tell him, you see, I'm not stupid enough to say I understand women, because no man can say that. You can't understand, you're not the same as them. We don't think like them. But I can tell you, that's why rule number 1 is important. When she says something like that to you, you have to think, who cares what she says? If you focus on what you want, you'll get it. She's just talking. How many girls tell you when you first meet talking? She's just talking. How many girls tell you when you first meet, I have a boyfriend? Well, if all these girls all have boyfriends, what are they going out for? What are they spending tons of money on clothing and makeup to make themselves look attractive for you? So what does that mean? Well, I can't figure out what it means. So I come up with a rule. I gave myself a few little guides. And that is, when a woman says to me she has a boyfriend, I don't acknowledge it. I don't answer it till she said it 3 times. Usually it doesn't go past once. It's the first one is there to test you. That I'm positive about. And you can't take notice of it. If they go to the 3rd time, I tell them, well, if I was your boyfriend, and listen to things I would tell them. You wouldn't be with me. You'd be with your boyfriend, which would be me. So you would be with me. And that's what I tell them. Because what they're saying to me doesn't make sense. Because rule number 1 is you can't listen to them. They're not telling you the truth. But most guys, and I say most guys that I help, have what I've named, and one day you'll hear it from somebody else and you'll say, David X came up with that. I can't patent it, but it's what I call the Sir Lancelot syndrome. We want to be nice to them. We want to think they're princesses. We want to be their knight in shining armor. But they're not fucking princesses. They're bitches. They're lying bitches.